The Ace Attorney franchise is probably one of the most popular visual novel series ever made. Originally released on Game Boy Advance in 2001 as Gyakuten Saibon, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney made waves upon its Western release on Nintendo DS in 2005. 2 years later, its sequels Justice for All and Trials and Tribulations also made their way to the West, completing the original Ace Attorney trilogy. Now, an HD collection of that trilogy has made its way to Switch, bringing the fantastic story of Phoenix Wright to a new era of gaming. If you've never played Ace Attorney before, this collection is the perfect time to start. Ace Attorney takes place in the near future of 2016, where the American legal system has been reformed to expedite criminal proceedings. All trials now take place within 3 days, and acquittals are rare. Phoenix Wright starts the series as a rookie lawyer, eventually growing into one of the most accomplished defense attorneys in the world by the end of Trials and Tribulations. Along the way, he solves long-standing open cases and crosses paths with the mystical Fae clan numerous times in arcs that span not only entire games, but also the entire trilogy. Each game features 4 or 5 murder cases to solve. Throughout the trilogy, you'll meet a huge cast of weird and colorful characters that fill the role of witness, defendant, and murderer. Ace Attorney is famous for its cast, and for good reason. Each character is written well, with the excellent English localizations from the DS games remaining in the new Trilogy collection. Though some cases are a bit underwhelming, especially one circus case in Justice for All, the dramatic and comedic chops between writer Shu Takumi and the localization team at Capcom make for an excellent read that stuck with me for all the years since I first played on DS a decade ago. Gameplay is split between 2 phases, investigations and trials. While investigating, you'll interview witnesses and explore crime scenes looking for evidence or key pieces of testimony. Afterwards, you'll take what you've learned to the courtroom to defend your client. In trials, a witness will be called to the stand to testify, and you'll be given the opportunity to press their statements until you find something that contradicts the facts of the case. Once you've found a contradiction, you'll present evidence to prove that the witness is lying or mistaken. In the past, I've described Ace Attorney as a murder mystery novel where you need to solve the mystery yourself to keep reading. And while that concept isn't as unique now as it was in 2005, the trilogy is nevertheless one of the most entertaining courtroom dramas gaming has ever seen. Scanning through a testimony until you've finally found the statement that doesn't make sense is incredibly satisfying, and keeping up with the increasingly insane lengths that the prosecution will go to for a guilty verdict keeps the tone exciting in what would otherwise be a dull procedural task. Some cases can be unbelievably convoluted in the most entertaining way, and seeing the villain finally break down at the end of a long cross-examination makes it all worth it in the end. The Ace Attorney Trilogy collection on Switch features completely redone art that breathes new life into the crazy world the game takes place in. Although the new art from the iOS port was used in the 3DS collection in 2014, the Switch version marks the first time Nintendo fans will get to see it in full HD. Playing docked is a bit odd, and seeing characters originally drawn for the GBA's 160p screen can be jarring, but everything looks incredible on the Switch's screen. Laying on a couch and playing in handheld mode gave me exactly the experience I remember playing as a kid without having to up-res the old pixel art that was actually on my DS screen in 2005. All 3 games in the trilogy are almost entirely identical to their original incarnations. One small but significant change is the addition of a magnifying glass icon in investigation segments that makes it easier to tell where you're supposed to check for evidence. In the original DS versions, testing every pixel of the screen to see if I'm missing some key piece of evidence could be frustrating, but with an icon lighting up whenever the cursor is over something that can be examined, the investigation phase is better than ever. Besides the addition of multiple save files, there isn't much else in the way of quality of life updates. It would have been nice if the collection included a text log like most modern visual novels have, but it's a small complaint in an otherwise excellent package. Ace Attorney remains one of my favorite franchises of all time, and I have loved the opportunity to play through the trilogy again on Switch. Though it lags a bit in the middle with some less than stellar cases in the second game, the Ace Attorney trilogy is still an incredible story with wonderful characters, memorable plots, and satisfying mysteries to solve. Even with little more than a new coat of paint, the Trilogy collection manages to be the perfect way to experience the story of Phoenix Wright, whether you're a rookie lawyer or a great Ace Attorney. Thank you very much for watching. And if you want to see more videos like this, consider subscribing to Nintendo World Report TV. You can also check out NintendoWorldReport.com for a whole lot more, and if you want to support both this channel and the site, check out patreon.com/NWR. You can also join the conversation in our Discord server through the link in the description.